If you are a runner, you've probably been hurt at some point. But why? What's really going on? Well, today we're going to look at two very different roads that lead to the exact same place: injury. One for the brand new, super excited beginner, and one for the seasoned pro. And figuring out which road you're on, well, that could be the secret to staying healthy for good. I noticed something you get this weird paradox. Some people who get one little injuries and are suddenly terrified to even lace up their shoelace again. And then you have the other extreme runners who push through absolutely everything, and in the process they just wreck their bodies. The outcome is the same. They both get injured. But how they get there is a totally different story. So let's meet our two runners. First, we have the new runners. You know, their biggest problem isn't that they're lazy, it's the opposite. They're just too excited. They feel great, so they just keep pushing. Then you have the pro, the experienced runner. Their tissue isn't being naive. Nope. It's a slow creeping pile up of stress from training, from life, from everything. And that really brings us to the destinations: getting injured. It's the same for both, but the journey they take to get there completely different. And if you can understand your own journey, you might just be able to avoid that destination altogether. So let's explore these two paths. For the beginner, it's all about the initial. For the new runner, it's all about the initial rush of excitement that's just taking over. I see this with my clients all the time. Someone starts running, they'll do a 3K and they feel like a superhero. So the next week they're like, well, why not do 6? And then boom, suddenly their knees are sore, their calves are screaming, and they think, oh, running just isn't for me. That's a classic beginner trap. And really it all boils down to two huge mistakes. New runners almost always go out way too fast and add mileage way too soon. Their heart and lungs might be able to handle it, but their tissues, the muscles, tendons and bones, they just haven't had time to adapt. They're just not ready yet. So a brilliant rule of thumb to avoid this is the 10% rule. It's super simple. Just don't increase your total weekly mileage by more than 10%. I know it can feel painfully slow, but that gradual increase is what gives your body a chance to get stronger. And most importantly, it keeps you running without getting hurt. Okay, so that's the beginner. Now what about the experienced runner? They're not getting hurt because they're too excited. They get hurt from something else differently. Stacking way too much stress on a body that's already tired. I had a client once, a runner who did a brutal interval sessions in the morning and then play a full game of rugby in the afternoon. You can imagine how that turned out. See, the injury didn't came from just that one workout. It came from the total load he put on his body. For experienced athletes, that stress stack can be anything like chronic fatigue, always pushing their limits, juggling other sports, not taking recovery seriously, poor sleeps, poor nutrition. And when that goes on for too long, it can lead to a really serious condition called REDS, Relative Energy Deficiency in Sport. Basically, your body is just constantly running on empty while being pushed to the max. And when that happens, your injury risk goes through the roof. But here's where the two paths, the beginners and the pros, suddenly merge. Because there's a psychological trap out there that can get any runner, no matter how long you've been doing it. It's the mental game. And it can be just as destructive as any physical mistakes. And I gotta be honest, I fell into this trap myself when I got serious about my own running. I became completely obsessed with the data. My pace, my heart rate, my sleep score, you name it. I was so focused on chasing the numbers on my watch that I totally forgot to listen to the one thing that mattered: my own body. The results were honestly shocking. Before I went down to this data rabbit hole, I could do a 45 kg single leg extension, no problems. Just 4 weeks later, I could barely manage 10. Can you believe that? My legs were completely toast. It was such a brutal wake-up call about how demanding running really is on your entire system. And this whole mental game also affects how we bounce back from injury. Beginners often get scared because they think little ache means the damage to the body, but the experienced runners do the complete opposite. They get impatient. They try to rush back where they were before. And let me tell you, both of these mindsets are a recipe for disaster. So how do we avoid these traps? how do we stay healthy? Well, that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, building an injury-free plan. We're talking about smart, practical strategies that work for everyone. From day one runners to seasoned marathoners. First, let's talk about tools. For a beginner, a watch or an app seems great, but the hidden danger is a comparison trap. You hop on Strava, you see someone else do amazing time, and you instantly feel like you're left behind. For the experienced runner, their support is a coach or a physio, but their danger is thinking they can push a bit more and totally ignore the advice they're paying for, especially the advice to slow down. Your training priorities should be different too. For new runners, the key is simplicity. Focus on those easy conversation pace or zone 2 runs and build a solid foundation on strength. For the experienced folks, the game changes. It's not about adding more, it's about managing everything. You have to monitor stress, nail your nutrition, prioritize recovery, and learn to love the low weeks. They're absolutely crucial. And now probably the most important ideas of all, no matter what level you're at, you have to understand this. Pain is not the enemy. It's not something you have to conquer or push through. Pain is just information. It's your body trying to send you a message. And for those experienced runners, ignoring that message can be catastrophic. That tiny little ache you try to run through can turn into a stress fracture, a chronic tendon injury, or push you right into rats. Something that can stick with you for years. So the best runners, the ones who do this for years and years, they're not the toughest ones who can ignore the most pain. No way. They're the smartest ones. They're the ones who listen to their bodies. The ones who are wise enough to change the plan, adjust, and adapt. Finally, the simple training secrets every runner should know is subscribe to me so you can run without injuries.